Thank you very much, Alessandro. Уважаемые участники,
Dear participants of today's training, good day and welcome on behalf of the UNESCO Bureau in Almaty. I'm happy to welcome you at today's webinar or training, which is devoted to modeling glacial lake outburst flood using the RAMS software. As you know, dear colleagues, we are holding this webinar as part of the UNESCO project, Adaptation Fund GLOFCA. And as you very well know, under this project, our direct foreign partner on implementing this project is the University of Zurich, which is the organizer also of today's webinar. Also with our colleagues from Zurich University, we have a group of experts from the Davos Institute of SLF, Institute of Snow and Avalanche Research, will also be participating. Thank you very much, dear colleagues from the Zurich University and from the SLF Institute at Davos for organizing this event. Thank you very much. Now, dear colleagues, I'd like to emphasize that one of the major components in our GLOFCA project is building the capacity of those organizations and institutions that are involved in carrying out work on assessing, early warning, and preventing impact from glacial lake outburst floods. I'm not going to talk about the actual software because we have our colleagues to talk about that in detail from the Zurich University, from the Davos Institute as well. Allow me to just note that we do hope that today's training that we have planned to do as a series of trainings, we also have another webinar coming up in a few weeks, and the last webinar is planned in offline mode here in Almaty. So we do hope to see you all here in Almaty as well. As you understand, we were all witnesses to the recent mud flows or debris flows which happened in the countries of the region, in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. Just recently, in the recent days, in Kazakhstan as well, which have unfortunately brought casualties amongst the civilian population. So that instrument, that tool that our colleagues will be telling us about, the RAMS software, we do have high hopes that it will be useful for you in your work in order to assess certain parameters and identify parameters not only for forecasting these glacial lake outburst floods, but what we call debris flows. I couldn't find a good translation in Russian for debris flow, but as far as I understand, this software can be used not only to work with GLOs, GLOFs, but also snow avalanches, mud flows, debris flows, and even rock falls. But our colleagues will tell us more about that. So once again, dear participants, I do hope that this training will prove useful to you, and I hope everyone today a fruitful day of work. So thank you for listening and all the best.
Thank you, Kristine, very much for this very important introduction. I also welcome everybody at this first webinar, which is the start, I hope, of a long process of the training and also of cooperation on modeling GLOFs. I would quickly like to show the schedule for today. So as Kristine mentioned already, we will be working with the RAM software for modeling GLOFs in particular. And the training is divided in this way. Today, we stand at the first online webinar where we will talk about disaster risk reduction in general. We will present the different modules of the RAM software, and we will have a brief explanation of the technical requirements and on the licensing, how you can get licensed and have the software running on your computer. On the 1st of June, in 2 weeks' time, we will have the second online webinar where we will show you how to have the first simulations running with the software RAMs and prepare the data for your field studies. So with completely freely available datasets from the internet. And finally, in Almaty, as you know, we will have a face-to-face workshop where we will have the opportunity for 4 days to have a training with hands-on exercises, and you will be able to really practice with the software and learn how to use it, basic but also more advanced functions. There is also a 4th component, final, which is ongoing work, as I like to call it. And this means that for the rest of the duration of the project, we will provide support to you when you want to do simulations. So if you have questions on the software or on the parameters, we will be able to work together. This is the detailed schedule for today in Almaty time. So now we had about 10 minutes introduction. And now I would like to give the floor to Professor Kristine, who will give the general framework of what we're doing here, speaking about disaster risk management.